Hi, episode 10, special edition AMIcast after, I don't know, 1.5 year of suspension, something like that. I'm not alone, so my co-host is here. So, hi, how are you?
Hello, Krzysztof. Hi, everybody. It's nice to hear you and welcome everybody after such a long break. I hope that the next next debate will be quite shorter. So let's hope, because you know that we have so much news, so much events, so much exciting hardware news on Amiga in Amiga world. So sometimes it's hard to even collect all of them in such a long period. So, but let's try to Krzysztof, let's try to combine the latest news. Let's try to discuss about the latest topics, which and events and news from the Amiga world from the last half of the year. So
yeah, something like that. I think this is the good period to make the summary or something like that. So let's start from last year, AmiWest, because
yes.
I was talking with Adam Zalepa about the Amiga Germany, and AmiWest. I decided to not talk about this because basically, in my opinion, it makes no sense. Of course, there was some topics connected with exec SG. This means the new kernel for AmigaOS 4, but it looks like I don't know if we are still developing the NG Amiga NG operating system. It looks like it's let's say still alive, but not kicking.
Yeah, I think that AmiWest is a great party. So,
yeah, true.
Lots of fun, pizza, yes, and beer. So I think it's a good opportunity to meet old friends there. So yes, so I think that party was great.
Yeah, it looks like it is. It is the some kind of party.
Yes, but regarding the news, in fact, what we expect is to have a Tabor, at least. I mean, 8, 12, 22 in our homes.
Yeah,
homes right now. So
there was pre-registration, and this is this year, of course, and early adapter programs and blah blah blah. And so on, and basically now we have the coronavirus and or COVID, so-called COVID,
yes.
And this is the excuse for Aeon or I don't know who that it's not possible to finish it after 5 years in this year, or it will be finished in the end of the year or something like that. Basically, it's really, I think now it's too late. It makes no sense to release it.
Yeah, you know that probably everything is prepared. I know from the interview with Trevor that they already bought all of the necessary processors. So I think that we will receive Tabor, but for sure not in current year. But to be honest, there is no, I would say, transparency. There's no transparency,
true.
and we don't know exactly what's going on Aeon side. We don't know what's going on Hyperion side. So, in fact, we don't know anything. And
even if you made a pre-order, there is no updates currently. So basically, you spend some not so big money, but nobody knows. But
yes,
in my opinion,
not customer focus behavior for sure.
But in my opinion, because now we have in the last, let's say, half a year, it was possible to order the Vampire for 1200 as standalone, maybe no in full production, but basically possible to buy somehow. And now we have the great warp cards from Poland for Amiga 500 and 1200. So with 060, 060 basically it's called it. And and this is with a lot of features from the 256 megabytes of RAM, RTG, audio, fast hard disk ports, and so on, and USB and whatever you would like to have. And when you compare this and let's say now active classic Word, in my opinion, it's too late to sell this Tabor, because it was slow at the beginning, and we are now 5 years later, maybe soon 6 years later. So yeah, okay.
In fact, Tabor is more like a retro computer. Yes, so
Yes.
in fact, currently it's obsolete. Sorry to say, but it's obsolete. And even I remember that even during the first stage, I mean during just after the information about the project, we have received information that there will be combination, because the users could use both AmigaOS and also Linux. I mean Debian for Power PCs. And right now, just after we received information that there will be no more Linux for 33-bit Power PC computers.
The CPU is dropped the support of CPU. No?
Yes, so right now we have a doubled computer right now. So and please remember also that not only the one thing. Please remember that also we should receive a new version of Amiga X 5000. Yes. So
with 040 edition. And
yes.
As I know,
but
beta testers they have this, but this is the beta tester.
This is nothing. Beta version is a beta version still, so it's not a market product. So we cannot buy it. We cannot purchase this computer. So even such computer is still not released. So it's from my point of view, it's not the best way. And
true.
I don't see a bright future.
Okay, yeah, true. When you connect it with the let's say standard problem, for example, lack of the good new browser, but there are good news somehow in this direction. Because
let's discuss about this point.
Yes,
so
the small nice news is the case he is updating the Odyssey Web Browser for AmigaOS 4, but the engine is still the old one. I don't know how old, 8 years maybe or whatever. But
it's obsolete.
But it's better, because this is the hot fixes, the memory fixes, the patches, so more stuff is running, and I check it, is faster and better, really much better. But
how about JavaScript?
Okay, not everything is perfect, and but it's good update compared to the last 6 years, because there was nothing. But there are more browser news. Basically, the most important, I think, for us is the new Webkit browser for MorphOS, and this is completely new. I don't know how it's with the JavaScript, probably problematic, because the PowerPC processor. But what you can see on the screenshots, and it looks quite modern, and there are no problems with the running the website, which in 2020, let's put it in that way.
So sounds great.
So this is the good. I think this is somehow connected.
Do you know the name of this browser?
No, I don't know if there's name, because this is on
browser.
Maybe, but the topic is of the MorphOS, MorphZone, or MorphOS Zone. I'm not MorphOS user, but basically for me as let's say AmigaOS 4 user and X5000, maybe this is the game changer, that I can switch for MorphOS for my computer. Of course, I must first throw out my modern graphic board and put something from trash. But this is
so obsolete.
Yes, but this is really great news. This is good news.
Great news, yes. And right now we can see that this is a problem with the Amiga world, and then 3 different operating systems. Yes,
yeah, so of course, it was always a problem, but now it's...
Yeah, there's always problems right now. One of the system has, for example, quite good
hardware, yeah?
drivers for graphic cards. Yes, so AmigaOS 4, and here we have a quite modern. It's not modern, quite modern. A browser for the second environment. So, which one should we choose? So it's not so comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. It's at the end of this story, it makes completely no sense when you take a look at it from some distance. But there is not stop of the browser news, because the iBrowser is updated. So the new version has the small updates, but basically it's still the old iBrowser, so nothing is working with this browser, but it's good for classic Amiga. Yeah. At the end of all, in classic Amiga you need to go to Animate, I don't know, download some
exec.pl.
Something like this.
They have a classic website, especially for the old Amiga
computers.
So classic.exec.pl.
Okay, good. And the others, everything like let's say Amiga.org is working under this browser as well. So it's expensive, but it's working somehow. And if you are a classic user, you don't expect HTML5, JavaScript, and YouTube movies. You expect Aminet downloads, so it's okay.
So that would be enough, yes, right? Because you don't have to to download to your PC, yes, and next move to your Amiga, yes. So it's more comfortable.
Exactly, and there is the NetSurf update as well for classic AmigaOS and the NG version. But basically, this is really cool web browser, but it's still supporting only HTML4 without and JavaScript. It's somehow supported, but basically it's not working. So it's something between IBrowse and Odyssey, but it's okay.
So we have a few browsers, but all of them quite ancient. Right now,
you cannot work with
what
this.
Would you expect? Yes, but you can work, of course. You can download some necessary software, and it's fine. But probably people expect something new. Yes. So you mentioned about this Webkit browser for MorphOS, and I think it could be game changer. Yes. So and hope to see it soon. And let's keep finger crossed.
Yeah, there are theoretically two game changes. This is the first, this web browser for MorphOS, and before it was the game changer in Amiga in Germany. Last year, the presentation of MorphOS for the, let's say, this was AMD processor, so for, let's say, PC. And it could be game changer. Only what I'm afraid, maybe it's too late, because we are too old, nobody cares, and the NG community is so small. If somebody is making something, it is basically more or less classic, but not only. I try to be a positive here, because the good news, really good news, is the AmiCygnix is updated. So this was this environment for AmigaOS 4, which give you the opportunity to run the AbiWord and the GIMP, I don't know the English, but this graphic, this, let's say, the open source Photoshop, and some other stuff. So it is good news, because it was not updated, I don't know, 5-6 years, so still alive.
It's not how say the perfect solution, but it's kind of way to provide quite good software. Say, due to the lack of a standard, dedicated solutions for AmigaOS 4, it's better to have AmiCygnix than nothing. So
I think it is okay. It's running good. I think, of course, not on the Tabor. I don't believe, or I believe it will be too slow. But on X5000 or something like this, it's so top configuration. It is fast, and you can do at the end of all much more than in ImageFX, which is released as well. Because don't forget it. After I don't know. 10 years of takeover by Aeon of ImageFX, it's released, but basically they changed the copyrights and nothing more, and then release it. But but you can buy it, the original one. It's good.
But I didn't forget, about this. So nice to hear.
It was hard work to change this, copyright from the, I don't know, discrete FX to Aeon. It took a lot of years, but...
What's the word? 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe not 10, maybe 5. Doesn't matter, but basically you can buy the fresh copy of it.
So it's great news, probably. Lots of people will buy it.
It's iconic program, and this is from business view. I think this is good. This is good for the company, but there are another positive news. The Hollywood.
Lots of positive news, Krzysztof, today.
Yes, I'm trying to find Hollywood 8 and my beloved Designer 5 for Hollywood is released. So the main topic, because I was doing, or I'm doing, some really simple soft in the designing, because I'm not the coder. But for me, the worst problematic that Designer is really outdated compared to Hollywood. It was I don't know, a lot of years with missing of upgrades, and now it's released. So you can buy the Designer, make some advanced presentation or simple software with graphics interface, and this is good news. And this is one of the best program for Amiga in general, Amiga, or the good program.
Let me remind our listeners that Krzysztof already released special software which is available. Yes. Where can we download it? Is Depot, yes, for
I made the AMIcast player in this, so
os4dport.net, yes? You can download it.
No,
this-
AmiNet. It's
AmiNet,
because
okay.
this is
AmiNet, okay.
because it's running or every Amiga system which is in the world. Of course, it must be classic,
Okay.
must be really powerful, but yeah.
So if you have opportunity, please download this software and try it. Could you please remind us the name?
AMIcast player.
AmiCast. Okay. AmiCast player, so everybody could download it and try.
Yeah, exactly.
And please, we are waiting for your feedback.
Thanks for reminder for everybody. Okay. And let's say this is the positive news from the software side, but like we said, I think before we jump to another topic, let's go back to in my opinion, the best positive news in Amiga world. Probably it will be in this year, this warp cards, because this is warp card with 060. So with this, the new turbo card, not FPGA, the typical Amiga processor, I think this could be a game changer.
Okay, I'm just wondering about the when you compare how does Vampire work and Warp. So I'm pretty I wonder how to compare.
Mm-hmm.
There are kindly different cards. There are different
there are different processor basically.
Technologies. There are different philosophy behind these products. So just waiting for some number of tests and which one is better. So I know that the it's kind of competition between them their cards, and that but Vampire you can as I know Vampire you can purchase, but Warp is still in production. Am I right?
Yes, there are some. It looks like beta testers or influencers. Yeah. If we have some in Amiga world that they have the let's say early access to test. Of course, somebody must make a test, speed test, graphic test, but there are difference that the let's say original Motorola is probably more compatible than FPGA Motorola.
FPGA, yes.
The one the speed between the memory, graphic card, or something like this CPU, I don't know. Maybe can be the something like the same. And another thing, because the Vampire is some years with us, and we don't have the special software for it. So I believe, or in my opinion, basically, if this is let's say quite fast, like is now, because this 060 Motorola can run 100 megahertz, so it is quite fast. You don't need in the classic computer the Core 10 generation speed. It's not NG computer, and basically the MPGA videos with this standard one or something like it's using Vampire is I think fast here and here, or so doesn't matter. And IBrowse, it's for the browsing AmiNet, so nobody cares. And Quake is running fast here and there.
Quake is a kind of fetish, Amiga fetish.
Yeah, but
I'm just wondering
you cannot run Quake 4 or something. Yeah?
Software.
So.
Okay, but I'm wondering about software, is because this hardware without the software is I would say it's just kind of brick, and then you need software to run on them.
Yeah, you can run
to show the power, to show possibilities. But I'm just wondering if how say both Vampire and Warp will be used for the new software, or maybe not even new, but new versions of the existing software.
But
to
the new
use
versions,
possibilities.
Okay, but the new versions you can get the new version of the Quake or Doom. It will be never new software for the. When you take a look, there is almost no new software for the NG Amigas, and they are much more capable of copy the software from other platform. So the Vampire, for example, is not so fast like Tabor. Believe me, the Tabor will be, I don't know, 10 times faster than Vampire. So you cannot port super new software. You can only make the classic software running in the best way. And this is the, I think, target, and nobody is chasing the world with this. It's only 500 euros plus CPU, and you have the fastest original Motorola Amiga with the fast graphic card, with a lot of memory. So just for fun.
Mm-hmm. Yes, probably it. How say it will change the small Amigas into the powerful powerful machines.
Exactly.
Comparing to the Amiga for 4,000 even more. So it's how say it's tricky, but it's fun.
Yeah, and when you buy Amiga 500 and you put this card on it, and you have the, let's say, the fastest Amiga ever, the classic Amiga ever. So this is the, I think, nice to have, and it could be. Yeah, let's see what happens.
I just took a look at how. In the meantime, I just took a look at os4depot.net portal to check the software. You mentioned about the lack of new software for AmigaOS 4, and I see that in the current year. New files which were uploaded into this portal. Please, how say, do you how much do you expect?
In this year,
number of the files.
200.
Yes. Half of the year.
200 in half of the year.
50.
Okay.
50 new files in current year. So.
And basically, the problem is these files. When you talk about the software that we should be, or I'm interested in, I'm interested in the good browser. I'm interested in the some software to make movies, to make the podcast, for example, to make some graphic stuff. No, something is there. So basically,
kind of
it's
office package.
Exactly, office package, and this is what we are talking about in upload in OS4 depot. It's tools or I cannot code. I cannot code anything, but I think I can say it. I need not tools. I need some software suites to make something.
Read the software.
Yeah. And in the classic way, is in my opinion, or when I see it from the distance, it's different. Because, for example, now we have but I think it's more for Polish users, the IMP program. So this is Infinited Module Player, I think it's called so like that.
Let me remind you. Check please. I remember the Infinity Modules Player, yes.
Yeah, and this is the let's say streaming platform for modules, and this is the software. This is small software, but have the chat option, something like IRC, and this is the latest uploads from IMNet. So you can click and you see what the new files are there. You can vote for the modules. You can I don't know. It's a lot of stuff. So and basically, this software nobody needs, but it makes a lot of fun in the classic way, because on the classic you use this is for fun. And in NG, when I'm using the NG, I'm expecting the PC experience, and now I cannot expect it. So, in my opinion,
especially
yeah,
especially if you have X5000, yes.
whatever.
So
if I have the Power Mac G5,
computer.
Doesn't matter. If I go to the NG direction because I expect let's say something like PC replacement, and it was possible something like almost possible 5 years ago, and now it's not possible because it looks like the everything is stopped. But okay, doesn't matter. Maybe the Tabor comes and we must change our opinions.
OS, but I'd say that that's the same with the new version of OS 4. Due to the fact that we received new versions of MorphOS, of AmigaOS 3.1.4. Yes, so this is still in development, but we have no news regarding OS 4.1. We don't know exactly what should you expect, what is planned, and when it will be released. So we know nothing.
No, yeah, it's planned and it will be done when it's done. So it looks like this. So nobody knows. But for MorphOS, it was really good. The last year was really quite good because they put a lot of updates for MorphOS, because before it looked like something dead OS, and now it's still alive. Maybe this will be the same with AmigaOS 4, but I believe it will be faster the release of the AmigaOS 3.2 or something like that, the classic update, because here you have the money and the user base. And to be honest, it makes, when you take a look from the hobby point of view, it makes a lot of fun to make this 3.1.4, to make it, let's say, something like modern, to put updates, to make it run good, configuration. It makes a lot of fun, and you make it only for fun. And in NG, I think it is a lot of, like we said before, a lot of frustration, because at the end of on, you must switch to PC, or basically you don't need NG, because if you make a movie for YouTube, you make it on the PC. Audio, you make it on the PC. Games, you play on the PC or something different, consoles, and so on. It makes no sense.
Probably because NG didn't meet expectations. You know that expectations was to be not just next to PCs, but it should be something similar, something which allows you to create a movie, to browse the net, and to prepare a document or something like this. So
yes.
So people wanted to have it. I'm saying not something, not say just toy, yes, for fun, but a real tool.
At the end of all, it met a lot of expectations, let's say 10 years ago, whatever, on MorphOS or whatever, but nobody expect, I think, that it will somehow be stopped, or I think the problem is because we are divided, like you said, in these three camps, because we are not talking about AROS, but basically AROS is another system, or we are divided now in four camps, because there's classic fans and the NG, which is divided in three. And this is two. And when you take a look what is happening in software, because the NG is software, the classic is hardware, so it's completely different. And in software, in an NG world, is a lot of more software dying than is developing new, or the developing good software. So probably this is, at the end of all, if this will be like that, the NG was really great movement in Amiga world, because it was something like bridge to make the to keep the Amiga alive, to put the survivors from the one side of the bridge to another, and the survivors, they are now doing the somehow like development for classic. Nobody cares about NG anymore. It looks like this now, in my opinion, of course.
Sad.
No, it's not sad. It was evolution, and maybe without NG, we will never have the classic in this position. Maybe everybody will doing something different. So maybe it's positive way.
Great
yes?
question.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But okay, let's stop complaining here.
But also regarding complaining, I have just two points. I mean, that you mentioned about the delays, yes, during the Corona virus and so on. That this for sure that we still received lots of new software in the meantime. But the sad news is that all of the parties were moved. As for example, Pixel Heaven or The Crunch. They are delayed. We expect to have them later during the summer and during autumn. But let's hope that everything will be fine and we will not meet any unexpected
viruses.
Unexpected points. Yes, new viruses.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but everything is moving now, and I think this year should be Amiga 35 in Germany, but I think it will be postponed, or probably something like that.
USA, I remember that the same is Amiga 35, the same in the USA, but probably it was postponed. Should be like here.
I must say it. Maybe the AmiWest will be postponed. Oh my God, we will lose 1 year of heavy development. Oh God. Okay, it was bad. Sorry, but let's say some other positive news, because you are specialized in Raspberry stuff for Amiga, so emulation basically. But there is new hardware, and there was some packages like Pmiga and so on. So you can say something about this, I think.
Okay, so we have a new Raspberry Pi. I remember that it was even last year. It was released last year, but even few days ago, the version with 8 gigabytes of memory has been released also. So we have right now a quite powerful tool, and lots of new emulators and emulator packages have been deployed, and we can choose. You mentioned about Pmiga. It is it's a funny story because someone started a project to prepare package of Amiga OS 3.1 as I remember, and to put there all software which is available, including games and demos and tools and so on. But probably someone probably this author forget about the law rules and copyright, and another person remind him after about the law or rules, and the author has vanished right now, and the project in fact has been cancelled. So it was a good idea, but
it was
life is life.
I think it was from IP protection or something. It was more aggressive than Coffin OS, because Coffin is from Vampire. It's really violating a lot of let's say law, or the stuff is coming from nobody knows. But at the end of it, it's a little bit strange, because a lot of the software is so old that probably nobody cares, but it's not legal.
Yes, in fact it's abandoned software, but I'm not sure if in the law we have a something like abandoned software. So probably the
probably must be official abandoned, because some days ago, years ago, I talked with the Maxon that was responsible for Cinema 4D, so the 3D graphic package for Amiga at the beginning, and if they could they make this is free for the Amiga version for community, and they cannot, because there are problem with the law in Germany, and because they are still producing the Cinema 4D, I don't know which version, but they cannot put this Amiga version as free. So probably this is the problem, yeah.
Also remember that the it could be the copyright that by default takes about 50 years. So after 50 years we can release all of the games and software, so please don't worry. Please be patient and
please
wait
survive.
Next 30 years.
Yeah, please be alive.
Or 40 years. Yes, so then we can release it.
Okay.
So please don't worry.
But basically, okay, so there is the new AmiBerry and the new Amibian for Raspberry Pi 4.
And so also SEDI Linux and probably lots of other, but I focus on this such an area. So yes, we have new versions. So and we should also expect AmiKit for Vampire. Question about Vampire, so please expect it soon.
Okay, good. So
Jan announced that it is in beta version, and but of course the release date is not announced yet.
And he will do it the P version as well, I think.
Yes, it will be next.
Saw this somewhere.
I asked him.
Okay, so
that was my question. Yes. We should also expect so hope to see it soon. The fact that we already have a AmiKit version for PC Windows, Linux, and for Mac OS.
Yeah.
So there will be new versions for Vampire and for Raspberry.
Okay, you are a big fan of the Raspberry, so I think it could be the good Amiga for classic Amiga.
Yes, I wrote article to execpl, and that from my point of view, keeping the old Power PCs, computers or old PC laptops like Arrows, it makes no sense, and we should change our hardware to Raspberry Pi version 4, because it's a new hardware, including all of the necessary features, which is a standard for a modern computers like USB 3.0, HDMI, and other stuff and other tools. So maybe this is a good way, due to the fact that I'll say you mentioned about the software which is obsolete, and what should we expect from the old tools? Yes.
Yeah, true. But I think the problem is of license and so on. That's that's why nobody did it or will do it, because of course the C64, the mini version, or the SNES, or whatever you choose, the version, let's say mini, is really good business, and probably if Cloanto or Hyperion can make a lot of money on this, they will they will do it, but probably nobody can do it. So that's why it's like that.
That's my theory. But how we should change the platform of Amiga NG, but it's a big question mark and just an idea, and probably it will be, I would say, as it is until our death.
Yeah, but still you can use what I was reading in the internet. You can use the Raspberry Pi as something like add-on for Amiga 500 or maybe 600.
Yes.
So you can use it as a memory expansion, as some audio streaming co-processor, something like this. I think this is still in development, but this is nice option.
Yes, but this is a nice option, and it's nice to have, and great idea, I think. The question, of course, is as with the vampires, is it still Amiga, or is Amiga is right now a kind of terminal, and all of the hard work is done by the Raspberry Pi. So it's question mark here.
You know, this question is always if the Amiga NG is still Amiga, and if the new turbo card like Warp is still Amiga, and at the end of all, like I heard, the best Amiga is emulated Amiga, WinUAE or something like this, and this is at the end of all, it's true. But
it's true, it's because it's the cheapest.
The fastest, and the easiest. But basically, doesn't
out of box.
Doesn't matter. It's still some kind of copy. There are interesting projects, and the really new true Amiga can be made by somebody which has the rights for the name, and they can put the new Amiga. And they can put the PC from the Taiwan and put the Amiga label, and it will be true new Amiga, if you like it or not.
Maybe. The question is, you know that there was a project, Amiga X.
There was
probably 2 years
Sweden,
ago,
yeah?
but 2 years ago, or Norway. As I remember, there's something from Nordic. The issue was that they wanted to purchase a copyright, yes, to have a legal Amiga, but so they were rejected. So they had to abandon their project due to the lack of copyright. So the question mark is that what will be with the trademarks, and what will be with the name Amiga, due to the fact that as you mentioned before that year by year we are getting older. People in fact forget about such a computer, and probably in 10 or 20 years nobody will care about it.
Yes, probably yes, because now the retro stuff is PlayStation 3, and the current model is 4, so we are really jumped it in new years. But probably if somebody will produce even in 10 years a mini Amiga 500 with the bundle of the best games, the people will buy it. If it will cost I don't know, 100 euros or whatever currency will be in 10 years in the world, nobody knows after what we see now. So probably it will be still. Mark, I meet the people younger than me, and they say the Amiga, it was the great computer, and it was the breakthrough computer or complete this movement, but it's sadly dead. But and they are surprised that somehow we have still active Amiga development in NG way. I make it in positive way from the people from outside, of course. I will not say that we have the three different operating system and the fourth is the reactivation of classic and so on, because it's bullshit. But still we are alive somehow.
I think you mentioned that about the mini Amiga is something like what we can purchase right now, like a mini C64 or mini SNES or so on. I think that this is the one real possibility for the future.
I don't
expect anything more here. Let's be realistic.
It's too late.
Of course, if the low battle will be finished, I hope that it will be in the year's time. Then why not?
Mm-hmm. But I think the current situation is there are still a lot of enough money for small companies to make some business. That's why it's not so easy to make it clear with this IP rights and so on. But okay, we'll see. We are in the half of this year, so maybe in the December it will be something really nice.
So let's meet together in December.
Maybe sooner, but to be honest, last half year it happened nothing. So it was not so good idea, I think, to make some episode about nothing for me, or maybe only
AmiWest.
In the bad light, because as I said here, there are some positive news. Still is, I didn't believe that the MorphOS team will do something more. It was really, let's say, in bad condition from my point of view, and now it's the one of the best, and the bad condition has the red camp, and maybe in the half year the red camp will do something extraordinary here.
So we should expect unexpected.
Yeah, of course.
That's only one hope here.
Yeah, but okay, to make it maybe to finish it, there are other positive stuff, because you can buy in AmigaKit expansion memory for Amiga 1200. You can put FPU there, and there are somebody is working for a small expansion one chip memory for Amiga 600 EX 601 with clock battery clock and socket for Indivision ACS. So like you see in the hardware for classic, it's a lot of stuff, and the still business is running. In software is problematic as well for classic and for NG as well. But for NG this means, let's say, dead or more dead than for classic, because classic is hardware.
But let's hope that the business will be still running in the future, and we will have topics.
Of course, and we will be still running.
And of course, so probably that's all for today. Thank you for listening. Probably the best and the only one in English Amiga podcast from Poland.
Yeah, probably.
So,
yes.
so it was pleasure from my side.
Of course, but we can put some, let's say, Polish point of view here for this Amiga
Yes.
scene. Maybe it's good that we are not so positive. Maybe somebody must take a look that it should be, or this situation should be running in a little bit better way. But at the end of all, it's okay.
Let's be realistic. Yeah. So let's not be a dreamer. We should not be a dreamers, but more realistic and to not expect too much. I would say, and to take a look at the real points. And of course, we should put here good points, as you mentioned about the new software, new hardware maybe. Some new software also, but also we should discuss about the points which are, say, not so positive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe somebody will push someone else to make it positive. Because at the end of all, someone is behind the MorphOS team, Ion, Hyperion, and maybe if community can push these people behind, maybe they can change their mind here or do something for community.
Let's hope.
Okay, so let's finish this now.
Mm-hmm.
And let's meet
Next time.
next time. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so take care and bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.